On News Hour Debate 1 tonight, Manish Tiwari represents the Congress Party. Siddharth Nath Singh represents the BJP tonight. Thank you very much. Swapan Dasgupta, senior journalist, is also joined tonight by Shabnam Hashmi, who is joining us from Jaipur. She's a very well-known activist. In this case, Sanjeev Bhatt, who is a suspended IPS officer, is with me in the studio tonight. And Yatin Oza is president of the Gujarat High Court Bar Association. Question is, Swapan Dasgupta, let me start with you. You know, what do you think is the best thing for Mr. Narendra Modi to do? And what do you make of the numerous protests today which have been organized in Gujarat and cities around the country, targeting Narendra Modi on the 10th anniversary, that he hasn't really done what he should have, he hasn't even taken accountability?
Well, the protests would be predictable. I think a very small section of people have protested. But I think what you have to really look at is when we look back on the 10 years since Godhra, is first that Godhra was and the aftermath of Godhra was the culmination of a series of riots which had been taken place in Gujarat, which had made Gujarat an endemic riot-prone state right from 1969. So Godhra was the culmination of that process. Secondly, we have to notice that since 2002, there has not been a single case of rioting in Gujarat. Now that hasn't happened only because of efficient policing, perhaps learning the lessons of 2002. It has also happened because it has been complemented, that entire process of administrative rigor has been complemented by a spectacular growth in the economy, whereby people have been beneficiaries of a process of economic empowerment. And I think it's the fact that both Hindus and Muslims have been benefiting from the spectacular growth story of Gujarat, that today we see a different environment in Gujarat, an environment which talks about development, which talks about getting ahead. No doubt the issues of some of the old issues of the riots, the trials, the court cases, etc. will go on. And that's a part of the judicial process. But it's the larger context which we have to look at, which is why that today neither the Congress in Gujarat nor the BJP in Gujarat are talking about the riots. Their criticism or support is based totally on the fact of the track record of Narendra Modi since...
No, they are talking about the riots.
And that is what really...
No, they are talking about the riots.
That is very squeamish.
No, they are talking and they are saying Narendra Modi hasn't said sorry.
No, but just a few activists talking about the riots does not make the entire state talking about the riots. Repeating the gory pictures of the past does not mean that is the uppermost in the preoccupation of people. They are talking about the fact that there was an unfortunate situation that took place in 2002, and since then there has been an uninterrupted peace.
So Shabnam Hashmi, you represent, as per Swapan Dasgupta, you represent that narrow group of people who represent nobody. You are a very small group of people who keep repeating the images of the riots. You know, for your own reason, that people of Gujarat have moved on. There has been no riots since 2002. 3 points of Swapan Dasgupta I want you to rebut. No riots since 2002. People have moved on and you're a narrow minority.
Let me speak.
Yeah.
One is that in a democracy, a narrow minority is as important as the voice of the majority. Secondly, in 2005, there were Dargah riots in Baroda where 25 young Muslim boys were at point-blank range. The police fired at them. In 2007, around Gujarat, there were 5 villages which were set on fire. Had we not reached in time, had we not alerted the authorities at the center, the whole South Gujarat would have burned. After that, the Kosamba and around that, Muslim villages were attacked. There are 5 graveyards where the BJP government has built roads. In fact, I have circulated those photographs where the bones are coming out. So it is not that Muslims are living in peace. Even they do not have dignity to die in dignity. So what Mr. Swapan Dasgupta is saying is he's talking out of his hat. He doesn't work in Kashmir. He doesn't work in Gujarat. I don't know how many times he has been there.
Swapan, respond.
As far as 2002 is concerned, till people get justice, this struggle is going to go on. As far as his his development is concerned, you should ask Mr. Modi why this year he has not done the Vibrant Gujarat Summit in January. The India Shining and Vibrant Gujarat happening is unfortunately not being
No, sir,
done
no, one
any
second.
longer by the people. That is why Mr. Modi is now taking refuge under the
Instead of
that
saying,
he's doing.
okay, 1 minute, let's get all up. Instead of Siddharth Nath Singh, the third question is to you tonight. Instead of saying, I'm being baited upon by the media, I'm being baited upon by all my detractors, they all want to stop me, they all, against the 5 crore people of Gujarat, why doesn't he just say sorry? 2002 to 2012, a person facing the elections, is he worried that if he says sorry, he will no longer be able to polarize the electorate in the manner that he has? Is there a political compulsion that's stopping Narendra Modi?
It's not there's no compulsion or anything, but there is a different way everybody treats, Modi's reaction is by keeping silent and doing development work, good administration and delivery mechanism. And I think that's how he speaks about it. So, but, sorry?
No, my question is, you say he's silent. Sorry, you said you began by saying he's silent, right?
What good, Arnav, what good is by saying sorry and doing nothing for the state? Without
what is the shame in saying sorry?
Religion.
What is the shame in saying sorry? An apology.
There is a way of expressing the feel that or the pain that Mr. Modi has gone through, not only by his detractors, but otherwise on ground the people of Gujarat, which he always said there are 5 crore Gujaratis, they suffered during the riots, and there's no denying about it. That riots are unwanted, nobody wanted Godhra to happen, and nobody wanted
you can get rid of your anti-Muslim image. You can get rid of your anti-Muslim image if you apologize.
There is a pain inside him, and that pain has helped him or made him strengthen. And he decided to deliver it by discriminating.
No, whose pain?
Without discrimination.
No, whose pain?
Bringing development to Gujarat.
What about the thousands of people killed in the riots, their families? What about their pain? Why don't you just simply apologize? Let's get Manish Tiwari in on the first point that has been made by Swapan Das Gupta as well. Manish Tiwari. Manish Tiwari, question is to you. I know this debate will warm up. I just get everyone in. Manish Tiwari, can you hear me? Mr. Tiwari not getting the audio in? Okay, let me take that to Sanjeev Bhatt while I wait for Manish Tiwari to be here. While 2002 will always be held against Modi, but is it time to continue disregarding the fact that Gujarat has been peaceful since 2002? I know you have a personal fight against Narendra Modi, Sanjeev, but reopening the wounds.
No, I would like to correct you. I don't have a personal fight against Narendra Modi.
You have a running grudge against Narendra Modi.
I don't have a grudge.
It's quite obvious. We may disagree on that, but that's not the point.
At all against Modi. Yeah. This is a question of rule of law prevailing or rule of law being shoved aside. Now, I'd like to tell Swapan. Yeah. He said that there has not been any riot in Gujarat
since 2002.
And 2002 was the culmination of riots in Gujarat. I would like to tell him that there was no major riot in Gujarat since 1993. Since the BJP came to power in Gujarat, there has not been a single riot in Gujarat because riots were not required. We had a series of riots in the late 80s, early 90s, which culminated in a process of complete polarization. And post 93, there was no need for riots and no major riot took place in Gujarat for 9 years from 93 to 2002. The 2002 riot was not a spontaneous riot, which all of us know. It was not an action of Hindus against Muslims. This was an action carried out, orchestrated action by a group of lumpen elements which were instigated and controlled by.
Here's a simple thing. Simple point being made here is, I don't know if Manish, can you hear me now? Manish? Manish, can you hear me? No, I don't think I have Manish on. Please continue. Yes.
What I was saying was that now we talk of development in Gujarat. Gujarat has always been developing. The story of development in Gujarat is nothing new.
That's all right. But riots are not a political check that you can keep cashing.
It's not a question. No,
let's hit the brass tack. Let's go straight to the point.
Brass tacks are.
The point is, riots are not a political check. Narendra Modi visited Godhra on January 20th for his Sadbhavna mission. There was anticipation. It's a commonly sensitive place. It will stoke further tensions. The fast ended peacefully. What if someone would tell you that's an indication that Gujarat has moved on?
Gujarat has moved on, yes. From 2002 to 2012, it is moved from
Yeah.
a state where there was ostensible anarchy in 2002.
So you
breakdown
agree?
of
So
law
you
and
agree?
order.
So you agree
It
with
has
Swapan?
moved to an incredibly clever Gestapo state, which is very well funded, very well planned. It is an incredibly clever Gestapo state. So Gujarat has moved from democracy towards fascism by leaps and bounds. Gujarat is a state where the democratic space is shrinking very fast. And if this model is allowed to be replicated, we are walking in the steps not of Gandhi but in the killers of Gandhi.
Okay, now
This is something which has to be
okay,
stopped.
that's well, Manish Tiwari, if I can have you back in right now, one second, I'm coming to you, Siddharth. Opening up to debate in a minute. My question to Manish Tiwari is: has the Gujarat riot simply become a political check? Will you be a political check that you want to cash on?
Hello.
Yes, Manish, can you hear me?
Arnav, are you addressing that to me because the audio is completely
Yeah, it is to you. Go ahead.
garbled? No, I wasn't able to understand your question at all.
Okay, my question is, Manish, have the
now it's
Gujarat riots become a political check that you are no longer able to encash?
Well, I think, Arnav, with all due respects to you, I think that terminology is extremely inappropriate. You know, what I'm really anguished about is that 10 years down the line, we are as far away from justice as we were possibly in 2002. Number two, what we have seen in these 10 years is that the state has repeatedly weighed in on the side of the aggressors rather than on the side of the victims. And that is why the Supreme Court had to intervene repeatedly and transfer cases out of Gujarat. And only those cases which were transferred out of Gujarat, except for a few exceptions, was, justice done. And the third point, I think, which gets missed out in the entire debate is that ostensible provocation, which is touted as the reason for the state's inaction subsequently, also happened on the watch of the Gujarat Chief Minister. After all, Godhra did not happen outside Gujarat. I think he was equally responsible to see that the unfortunate carnage in Godhra itself shouldn't have taken place, and subsequently to use that as an excuse to see that riots go on for 3 months, I think is extremely reprehensible. And I think the important lesson which we need to draw from this 10-year process is that this country requires omnibus communal violence law. If the Bharatiya Janata Party is at all serious about the homilies and the sermons which it delivers every now and then, I don't understand and see as to why they should oppose the communal violence
So
bill.
why not express some simple remorse? 10th anniversary, it's time, Yatin Oza. Express some remorse and then ask for the people of Gujarat to move on. Don't expect that to happen otherwise. Unless you made it an ego issue. If you made it an ego issue, then it's something else.
Arnav, there is no question. There is no question of making an ego issue. 1. 2. By conduct, people of Gujarat have accepted that Mr. Modi was not at all at fault, when I say conduct, by their popular vote. The whole game plan right from 2002 is not to reach out to the heart of victims, but to target one person.